Good morning, everyone. Good morning. Welcome. Welcome to our seminars 5 and 6. Great to see you all, and thank you for being here on time. This is the attendance for your register. Good morning, Atan, and good morning, everyone. So please do register. Here's the link, and let's get started. Okay, so welcome. Let me share the slides with you. You have all the slides and resources in Blackboard section. If you can download the files. Okay. So remember in the what we did in the first 4 seminars. In the first one, you completed time management worksheet, right? You allocated activities to these 4 quadrants, reflected on your time management. In seminar 2, you developed your personal professional development plan. In seminar 3, you created evidence for your top 10 employable skills inside and outside your studies. In seminar 4, you created your personal branding canvas and reflected on your employability, how you could position yourself for the job market. So today we continue with activities 5 and 6. Seminar activity 5 is GIP Cycle of Reflection, and seminar activity 6 is evidence table for self-directed learning. Let's get started. Let's start with GIP Cycle of Reflection. Why do we do GIP Cycle? Reflection is all about looking back on your experience and making sense of this experience to identify what you would do in the future. So it is about stepping back, clarifying your thoughts, emotions, working out strategies to go forward again. So you disengage, step back from an experience you have had, take time to deliberately, carefully review this, and then construct meaning from it. So why do we reflect? It is also called experiential learning because we want you to think deeper and enhance your self-awareness and problem-solving skills. So it is very related to effective management. We call this the reflective manager. The reflective manager recounts the experiences of failures, successes, in search for meaningful lessons, and critically questions everything, challenges structures, and transforms them. And this is important for effective management. Mintzberg and Gosling say, without an understanding of meaning from one's experiences, managing becomes a mindless exercise. So reflection is the suspended space between where you had the experience and the explanation for it. So you have to stop there and form yourself a space where you can make meaning. Okay, so we call that imagination space, they say, or you can call it reflection. So what you will do today is you will apply Gibbs Cycle of Reflection. There are 6 stages to this Gibbs cycle. Description, what happened? Feelings, what were you feeling? Evaluation, what was good, what was bad? Analysis, how can you make sense of this experience? Conclusion, what else could you have done? And action plan, if it arose again, what would you do? So these are the questions, okay? What happened? Feelings, evaluation, sense making, conclusion, and action plan. Okay, so you'll follow these 6 steps to a critical incident you have had recently. Okay, so reflective journaling helps you tremendously and increases productivity as well as your creativity. So I recommend you to keep a journal and reflect and record your thoughts. And remember, we want you to shift from description to reflective account, questioning, standing back, engage in self-questioning as well. Take into account others' views. So there are 10 questions I included for you. You can check your slides to facilitate your reflection. So why was it significant? How did you feel? Did you think about the views of others who are involved? What went well? What didn't go so well? What did you learn from the experience, etc.? So you can use anything. I want you to decide what you will reflect on for your GIP cycle now. You will start writing it right away. What could you choose for your reflection? These can be positive or negative experiences, but we call them critical incidents. These might be unusual incidents, mistakes that you have done, conversations that you revisit at night, or any other issues that keep you awake at night. Okay, so let's say you had a confrontation, a conflict with someone recently. Maybe there was a misunderstanding, a gap in communication, or you made a terrible mistake maybe, or you have lost somebody, you are dealing with grief, you know, things like that. These might be like big life moments, or something like smaller, but still you can turn it into deeper learning. So maybe it is somebody that is bugging you. Okay, so like find some critical incident. And my recommendation, always try to keep notes about this, keep a diary, be open, honest, write in your diary about this. So another model is Barton, what, so what, now what. So in the what section, you describe it, so what, you analyze it, draw conclusions, and now what, you formulate some actions. We are actually doing very similar thing in GIP cycle. We are doing a very similar thing. Why do we do it? Because we want you to develop these skills, self-awareness, critical analysis, synthesis, evaluation, all these skills. So now let's prepare for writing. Open your notebook, think about an incident. You can also, by the way, download the document and directly start typing in your critical incident. So so please go to the seminar section. If you go to seminars fall 2021 on Blackboard, go there and download the seminar files. You will work on the guideline, the third document, GIP Cycle of Reflection guideline. Please open that. The third one, GIP Cycle of Reflection handout. It's a guideline. So please open that and you can type up your answers on that. Okay, and you'll start working on it in the next minute. Okay, but like again, why do we do this? We do it because employers want professionals who are self-aware, who are aware of their strengths, who will have an impact, who are committed to lifelong learning and development, and who is confident about these claims, providing evidence, and who are serious about their learning. So we want you to be serious about your life learning. That's why reflective thinking is so critical at work. Okay, so you will choose something, a critical incident. It is in some way significant to you. Why was it significant? You will analyze it and learn from it, okay? So please choose your incident. Like, what happened? Describe it. What was positive? What was negative? What were your emotions? So we will start with description, okay? Where were you? Who were the people there? Try to pick specific details. Imagine that you are writing in like a novel chapter. Like what was the setting, context, layout, sounds? Who were the people there? What was the relationship among you? Describe events unfolding as they unfold. And how did you react to them? Track your emotions. So what happened exactly? Okay. So you can find these in your slides. You can follow them, but let me share the GIP cycle of reflection that you are using. Let me open that. So this is the handout. It is called GIP Cycle of Reflection Guideline. It is the third file on Blackboard. Please download it. You will be working on this document. Okay. So you can see that in the first 2 pages, it gives you some guidelines on how to achieve good reflective thinking. Okay, so you can have a look at that. But let's go to page 3 for now. And please start typing up your experiences, your critical incident. So please open the document and start typing up your critical incident. What happened recently that you will focus on? So this is an incident that is significant to you. Maybe you had a conflict, or you failed. You had some serious failures. Or maybe you had an accident. Generally, seemingly negative events are better for reflection because they yield more room for deeper thinking, deeper reflection. I mean, maybe on the surface it was very hard, very challenging, but if you think about it, you can turn it into deeper learning. Those are like really good critical incidents. Which critical incident would you be choosing? It can be like a conflict with somebody, or a misunderstanding, communication gap, or it can be like a mistake that you have done. And what can you learn if you go back to that mistake? What can you learn from that mistake, and how can you turn it into deeper learning? Or it can be something that you are really like a challenge that you have dealt with. Like you resolved something really hard. You are also, maybe you are trying to resolve something really hard. Okay, so please choose your critical incident and describe it. What was the critical incident? And then start typing up what was the situation. So please type up in bullet points for now. So whatever details come to you, please capture them in bullet points. Okay, and that will be your seminar activity. So this is seminar 5. This will be your seminar 5 activity. You will just type up and continue these pages 3, 4, and 5. Okay, you'll just type up in between. So let's start with description again and populate this part. What was the situation? Who were the stakeholders? What were you doing? What happened? And what did you do? Okay, so let's type up the description part. If you haven't registered, this is the attendance link, everyone. You can just register your attendance, by the way. But I want you to download this file, start typing up immediately, and let's finish this as much as we can right now, okay? Please type up your experience. Remember, choose something that you are grappling with. Oh, this was something like challenging, difficult for me, but I can turn it into growth, into learning. What is that? Think about that. Okay, so please quickly type up your what happened, the description part. Quickly type it up. Or if you don't want to type it up now, you can write it in your notebook for now, and then turn it into start typing up later. But I would recommend like directly start typing out because it'll be faster if you can. What happened? And remember, imagine that it is like writing a novel. Try to pick up significant details. It's also your chance to practice some creative writing, because like this is a biographical event, right? It is a life event, a critical incident that you have had. Like if you can write colorfully about it, this will also improve your creative writing skills. Of course, it will improve your reflective writing skills as well, which is an amazing life skill because you can turn it into storytelling. So this is a form of storytelling, and you can be, if you can be a great storyteller, then many more doors will open to you as a creative person, as a professional. Like if you can tell really good stories for people, like you can turn it into a Medium blog or a YouTube video or a TikTok, you know, you can share it with the world, your learning, your deeper learning. So, and of course, you can also talk about this in your job interview. Let's say they ask you in the job interview, tell us about a significant, important challenge, difficulty that you have had. How did you turn it around? And what did you learn from these difficulties, these hardships? What happened and what did you do? So let's say they ask you in the job interview. This is a great exercise in that respect as well. You can use it as evidence in your job interview as well. Yeah. So think about it like in multiple ways. Like don't just do it because it is your assignment. Yeah. Turn it into something productive for your life. You can create social media posts about it, or you can use it in your job interviews, etc. Yeah. Okay, so if you're done with the description, let's continue with feelings. The second part, feelings. Please type up about your feelings now. How did you feel about this? What did other people's actions make you think or feel? What were you feeling at the beginning, and then how did your emotions change during the course of the events and afterwards? So track your emotions. Like, how were you feeling before the event, during the event, after the event? And when you look back at this episode, how are you feeling right now? Maybe during the shock of the moment, you were angry, let's say. You felt a bit depressed, or you felt really anxious. Describe your feelings in detail. But now, looking back, after you resolve it, maybe you can be more calm and you can look more wisely. Like, so how do you feel about it right now? So describe the evolution of your feelings as well. So please type it up. I'm also trying to implement and write. Please keep typing up. Right now you are capturing all your emotions, yeah? Before, during, and after the incident. Let's continue with the next part. Evaluation. How well or how badly did it go? What was good about the experience? What was bad about the experience? Just you can use bullet points again. Evaluation section, please continue typing up. Keep the momentum, keep writing. Okay, let's continue with the analysis. Now, what did you do well or not so well? Did everything go as expected? Why not? So you're trying to make sense of the situation in more details. What really happened here? How can you analyze this experience if you break it into parts or stages? Can you do that? Like, can you break it into stages to analyze it in more detail? How can you make sense of the experience? Like, how do you interpret this situation? Can you do some research to help you better understand the situation? You can, by the way, Google this. Let's say if this was a conflict, a communication, cross-cultural communication issue, let's say, you can Google and type it up and see what you can learn from the internet or from YouTube or from books, you know, like do some research, maybe some theories or some resources, books, videos will help you. Just do that Google search as you wish. Okay, so what can you have? Maybe it was a personality issue. maybe you can do a little bit more research on personality styles and differences. Maybe it was about communication styles and how you made a mistake in your communication, let's say, and you want to improve your communication skills, then you can do research a little bit about that. Maybe it was about body language. Maybe it was about, I don't know, like think about all the different aspects of the experience. And also think about the resources which can help you to make better sense. How would you behave if you were the other person? Again, question yourself. How would you behave if you were a fly on the wall? Meaning that like you were an outside observer. Let's say you are like just a camera. You are not involved. How would you interpret it from an independent point of view? Okay, so try to analyze it from multiple points of view here. Multiple stakeholders, multiple perspectives. From maybe you can approach it from multiple topics or aspects. You can do some Google searches. Okay, so is this clear? So just create your ideas and type them down, please. Okay, let's continue with the next one. Conclusion. What did you learn? What are the key things that you learned from this incident? Could you have done anything differently? And what will you do differently next time? And how will you do it differently next time? So this conclusion part is where you really summarize your learning. What are the things that you learned? Make a list of them. And capture them. And type them up. Let's conclude with the action plan now. What will you do in a similar situation in the future? Where are your gaps, areas of improvement? What aspects of your knowledge or skills can you develop? What will you do next? Can you set some goals for yourself? What outcomes, competences do you need to focus on? And how will you develop them? What will you learn next? Like, do you need to read some books, watch some YouTube videos on this topic, or do you need to maybe do some more searches and learn more about any topic? Mention them. What will you do differently? Like, if a similar situation arises again, what would you do differently? What will you do differently next time? How will you go forward after this? So summarize these. This is the last part, yeah? Action plan. Okay, try to wrap it up, please. You can look back at your slides to achieve deeper reflection. So I have included some slides on how to increase the quality of your reflection. How do you achieve high quality reflection? Make sure you check them. So maybe you can focus on different aspects such as process, decision making, yourself, relational dynamics. What were the power dynamics, relation dynamics, and what about systems, culture, or context? So you can approach this situation from like multiple angles to increase the quality and depth of your reflection. Okay. So if you have completed all these 6 parts and the handout, you can just copy and paste it and attach it to your coursework. Okay. So this was your seminar 5 activity. Any questions? Seminar 5, the GIP cycle of reflection. You just attach this handout that you have typed in, yeah? You just copy and paste it, put it into your portfolio. That's it. Any questions about seminar 5 before we finish? Like, do you have any questions? Is everything clear? You can just revisit this, brush it up, and you know, make it a little bit more reflective, deeper, maybe high quality reflection, and then that's it. You can just attach it as your seminar 5 activity. That's it. Okay. Let's continue with seminar 6. If you don't have any questions, let's continue with seminar 6 now. Evidence table for self-directed learning. So for this part, I want you to engage in self-directed learning activities every week. This is a requirement of this module. Remember, you are spending some extra time, at least like 2-3 hours extra time for self-directed learning on the issues that you're excited about, that inspire you to come across inspiring, innovative ideas. So you need to listen to Desert Island Discs episodes, 2 of them each week. You need to watch 2 TED Talks on topics that you are interested in. You can read biographies of Time 100 people or any other people that you are inspired by. You can also reflect on your hobbies, like whatever you are doing and getting joy out of it. Let's say you are passionate about theater or computer games or music, TV series, comedy. Try to draw from them and try to turn them into learning, okay? You are passionate about graffiti, let's say. What can you learn from graffiti? And how can you summarize your learning? Maybe you are taking a course on Tai Chi, or you are taking a course on, you are trying to improve, let's say, TikTok dances. I don't know, like whatever you are working on, just turn it into learning and summarize it. Okay. I created a similar table for myself. You will see, like you can follow this as an example. For example, in the first 2 weeks, I listened to 2 Desert Island Discs episodes. By the way, you can include just 6 activities. That's it for this. Okay, just include 6 activities for these first 6 weeks. Okay, and you have a handout on Blackboard. Please download that handout. The handout is called STL Table Doc. It's the last one. Please download that one. Okay, STL Table Doc. Please download that one, and you will type up your activities, self-directed learning activities, 6 of them. These refer to like 6 weeks. You will capture them here, okay? So let's look at my example. I listened to, let's say, Desert Island Discs episode of Dame Zaha Hadid. By the way, all the Desert Island Discs episodes are on BBC4 website. You can Google this and listen to them. It's a great way to start your day, especially when you're having breakfast. Just open an episode. It's like very inspiring. So Dame Zaha Hadid, what did I learn from it? I reflected on the critical importance of courage to shake up traditional practices of architecture through fluid and futuristic thinking. And she was one of the most celebrated architects. She has passed away, unfortunately, but we can learn so much from her. I tried to summarize my learning here. And then I listened to Desert Island Discs episode of Kat Kidston, known for her floral designs. She had amazing business success, £50 million brand, 100 shops. Japanese are crazy about the brand, calling it kawaii, cute, a celebration of cheerfulness. So this is a remarkable success story. And she talked about her vulnerable feelings as well during the interview. So I was inspired. Maybe like her, I can nourish my entrepreneurial side. All it requires is courage, readiness to experiment and fail, along with a niche business idea and solution that cheers people up. So you'll summarize your, try to summarize your what you learned from Desert Island Discs, specific episodes. You can choose people that you are interested in. Okay, so that's part one. Part two, you can also choose some TED Talks. I chose Benjamin Zander, Transformative Power of Classical Music. It's an excellent TED Talk, by the way. I love this guy. He's so passionate, and he talks about passion, leadership, music. It's an amazing TED Talk. You can watch it. I summarize what I learned from his TED Talk. And Elizabeth Gilbert, again, another amazing talk. I love Elizabeth Gilbert's work. I attended her workshops actually in London. She's very inspiring. Yeah, what did I learn from her TED Talk? This is a very famous TED Talk. It's one of the most watched. I summarized that one. So you can choose some TED Talks in part two. Okay, just you can choose 2 TED Talks, let's say, if you want. You don't have to, but as you wish, really. The third part, I chose some books that I have read. So I read Give and Take by Adam Grant. Adam Grant is a wonder professor. He is one of the best renowned professors in management in our field. And he wrote this wonderful book about givers, takers, and matchers, and did research about them. I love this book. I love all his books, Adam Grant's books. I also read the book Watching the English, The Hidden Rules of English Behavior. This is an anthropology book about British culture. And it's a really funny book. I just summarized that one. So you can choose some books as well, yeah. And I chose some movies, TV series. For example, I watched Matt Damon's movie, The Martian. You remember that one? He gets stranded on Mars, and then he has to stay there for 4 years. His food supplies are going away, so he works hard and grows these Martian potatoes. You remember the movie? So what did I learn from that movie? And I binge watched, let's say you binge watched some TV series. I binge watched Downton Abbey. Yes, I am guilty, yes, but I turned into some lessons, okay? So if you feel guilty that you spent a lot of time watching a TV drama or on Netflix, etc., then you can summarize, turn it into some learning, okay? So I summarized because I lost so much time on Downton Abbey, I had to turn it into some learning. And I made a TikTok on it as well. So at least now like I made a little bit of use of it, you know. Okay, so this is my learning. You can, so looking at these examples, I want you to find your own examples and populate the table now. Okay, so you can choose events you attend during the employability week, inside business talks, seminars, anything that you attended at UEA. UEA has amazing events this semester. You can just follow them. You can attend some events on campus. You can go to career center maybe, or workshops, conferences, sports events, theater, arts galleries. So what inspired you recently? You can just turn it into learning. When were you really excited? Okay, so you can choose any aspect of your life. So these are the aspects of my life that are enriching my soul. I love doodling, entrepreneurship, careers, teaching, research, spirituality, finances, investments, travel, discovery, and arts, film, drama. So these, like, I try to choose activities from each, like some of these domains. You can also do so, but try to borrow from your experiences in the last 1 month, if possible, maybe 2 months, okay, during the course of this module, if possible. Try to come up with one activity, in total 6 activities, okay? And try to diversify the domains. You can choose desert island disc, TED Talks, movies, books, hobbies, interests, workshops, etc. Okay, but choose things that you are passionate about. Okay, choose things that really excite you. And please populate this table. So I will share. Now I can see. Can we read blogs, watch TikToks, films on things that we feel passionate about, or does it have to be creative things? They can be anything, Sarah, as long as you're passionate, excited about it. It can be anything. Like if you are passionate about cooking food, then include that. If you're passionate about cinema, then you can include that, or music, or hip hop, whatever. Okay, so any field is fine, as long as you feel excited and you can feel that you can turn it into some learning, then include that. So you should be now working, typing up your things on this worksheet. This is your worksheet, okay? So STL table. You should download this, and you have, as you see, 6 weeks. What is the STL activity you completed? You just find it, write it here, make it very specific. What did you do exactly? Give the exact name of the movie or book or title, authors, etc. Like make it very specific, okay? So that anybody who reads it, let's say, can access that. And then what is your learning, inspiration, lessons? You can summarize this as a like paragraph or bullet points. You can also use like quick bullet points, make a list of things as you wish. So you'll find just 6 activities, okay? 6 different things. As I said, you don't have to use like desert island discs, but like if you try to listen to them, I think you'll find amazing episodes. It's a great habit. Again, TED Talks, you can find some great TED Talks or any other thing. Like when you are online, I'm sure you come across many things that are really exciting, that inspire you. Share them here, okay? But remember, be very specific and very detailed, as much detail as you can. Bring as much detail as you can. Like especially things that surprised you, like something that you have come across that was like unexpected or surprising. You learned so much from it. You didn't expect that you would learn so much, but like you learned so much. Then summarize that learning for us, okay? Okay, so that is your seminar 6 activity. Seminar 6 activity, self-directed learning table. And you should have 6 activities, okay? Is everything clear? Do you have any questions? So you'll attach the GIP cycle handout and this self-directed learning table. You can copy and paste them and put them into your portfolio. So your portfolio is growing, yeah? Continue working on your portfolio, finish your job application, the job ad, CV, cover letter, poster, finish them, and then finish these 6 seminar activities, yeah? and finish your creative challenges. Remember, you'll choose 2 of them, do them, and finish your lecture evidence. Remember the learning adventures part, lecture evidence, and then like you'll finish the last set of seminars next week. We will finish them, and then you will be ready for submitting your portfolio. That's it, you know, like by the end of October, you'll be done, hopefully, and you will bring everything together and you can submit them by 11th of this November. Yeah, you'll submit everything by 11th of November. So keep working on it, and I wish you best of luck in your portfolio. Okay, please let me know if you have any questions. This is the end of our seminar. Thank you so much for working on these. Thank you for your hard work. I included the attendance link again, so please make sure you register. Thanks a lot. Have a great week and weekend, everyone, and I will see you next week. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.